Okay, today we are playing a game on Ilios. We are playing about half the game as D.Va, then we're playing Lucio for about a round, and Zenyatta for about a round. And the average SR of this game was 676. So, let's look at our team. We've got D.Va, we've got McCree, Genji, Pharah, Winston, and Lucio. So, it's almost a dive comp. If we could trade McCree for a Zenyatta, it would basically be a full dive comp. But, it doesn't matter. In this kind of SR range, most people do not even know how to play their heroes yet, so team comp doesn't really matter. A fact which is very much lost on our man Mobim and our man KYB, who are very vocal about the meta, and they're real scum. Yes, they are. All I'm saying is Mobin picks Junkrat, right? I should tell you all that you need to know. So, we are on Ruins first. We've got a pretty good team for Ruins, because we've got, like, 2 long-range people, a Genji to dive on someone, and we've got, D.Va and Winston to, like, dive on any long-range people they have, which are pretty common to have on Ruins. So, we've got a Zenyatta coming in here, performing a very illegal maneuver, and has been rightly punished for doing so. We also see up in the kill feed that they have a Symmetra. Symmetra is obviously not a great hero at King of the Hill, but it is important to know that they have a Symmetra, because Symmetra can be very scary if no one's dealing with her. So right here we see 2 people right next to the edge, and we're going to go in and try to bump them off. But we aren't holding down our defense matrix as we're shifting in, so we get stunned by McCree. You can hold down shift while you're going in. You can hold down right click while you're going in on your shift, and it'll still hold the defense matrix up. We have pushed Orisa off, which is the important part, but we didn't get the McCree off. It also looks like you click for every bullet that you shoot out of the gun. You can just hold the button down, and it'll fire mad fast. So over here, we can see that it looks like our Lucio just got stunned and killed, and Lucio's very unhappy about that, even though it's almost certainly his fault, but that concept is lost on our man Mobin, I know it. So, we are playing Baby D.Va right now, so we can't really go in and fight people. We can stand up, like, in this area, or on the right-hand side, and, like, shoot at people, as we, like, catch glimpses of them and try to build up our ultimate. But our team starts dying over here. So, or instead of that, we can just stand on, like, this area and shoot across at them. Because we don't really want to stand on the point as much as possible, because the point is very dangerous. There's nowhere to stand, there's a big open square, and you can be threatened from every area around you. And every area around you is also high ground. So we don't really want to stand on the point, unless we're actively contesting it. Because this is a dangerous place to stand, basically. So we see here that they have a Bastion. We also just saw our Pharah get absolutely fucked. So they've now got, also we're like walking into the Roadhog right here. That's very scary. That's very scary. Because we don't seem to notice that Roadhog is right next to us. We don't really want to just like brush up against Roadhog like that. So we're going around here to try and like do something about this situation. We managed to kill Anna. And now McCree is here with us. We start running away from the McCree. We can just fight this McCree. Like, there's no reason for us to be scared of this McCree, because McCree is, like, he's used his flashbang, and he just tried to fan the hammer into us. If we block that, it didn't actually go back, god damn it. Like, he's just tried to fan the hammer into us. He's just rolled, so he can't reload quickly. And also, like, he's just not going to kill us quickly enough. We've got 400 HP. We can honestly kill this McCree over here, because nobody is coming to help him either. So we're really afraid of, like, we back away from this McCree. We could just fight the McCree. And then we end up backing up into the more dangerous place that is the point, and there's an Orisa, there's a Roadhog, there's a Bastion, there's a Symmetra. That's a very scary place to be. So after we killed the Ana, we could have just killed the McCree as well, and then, like, gone on with something else, like probably trying to kill somebody else, or probably retreating, seeing as we lost most of our team at that point. So, we've got most of Self-Destruct built up, but Self-Destruct is not a very good ultimate in most cases, so we're not overly concerned about that. We do see over here that Pharah has just killed their Roadhog. Roadhog is one of the scarier members of their team, so now we should have a numbers advantage as well, so we can go in and start trying to get some work done. We've got a Symmetra over here. Symmetra is going to get punched to death by Winston. We could go in more aggressively to fight the Symmetra, because we've got, like, our whole team here to back us up, and Symmetra's all by her lonesome. So we could just, like, go on her and, like, get right in her face and try and kill her quickly. We've also just, like, bottomed out our defense matrix for no real reason. Defense matrix is the strongest part about D.Va, and it's important to manage the defense matrix. We just sort of bottomed it out over there, defending against absolutely nothing, which is not a very good use of it. So we sort of lost track of the Orisa that was getting bumped onto us right there. We're trying to hold the defense matrix over the Winston so they didn't get killed by the Orisa. Honestly, we should just shoot the Orisa. Like, Orisa's really easy to kill. Also, this is happening over here. McCree has just, like, appeared right out of nowhere. But Orisa is more concerning than him, especially since we've got the bubble to protect us. We don't need to hold the defense matrix over Orisa during that. We can just start laying into Orisa. She's got a fucking huge head, and she's really weak to dive heroes. She hates people being on top of her, because she has no way to get them off, and she's actually a very soft tank. So if we just, like, lay into the Orisa's head, rather than holding the defense matrix over her. So McCree is behind us right now, and we don't seem to realize that, and McCree ends up killing 4 people and breaking our mech. We saw McCree, behind us a minute ago, but if you don't know where McCree is, you just start spinning around looking for the McCree, especially as D.Va, because you have the obligation where you need to hold the defense matrix over the McCree's head. And the McCree, we could have probably stopped that from happening, and that would obviously be a lot better than getting 4 people killed and losing our mech. Also, this is, like, a very common thing with lower SR players. Just, like, look around more, because we sort of look in one direction a lot. Just, like, look around. Just, like, swing your cursor around and, like, look around, because it's really important to know where everyone roughly is. And tend to just sort of look in one direction. Like, we didn't know McCree was there, and that's, like, tunnel vision as well, because we saw the McCree, but we were looking more at the Orisa. We gotta try and be as aware as possible. Game sense, very important. So we are not really doing very much here. We can just, like, hop up onto this higher ground over here and, like, shoot around the shield out of the Orisa. And Orisa's got a really big head, and our gunfire is really fast. We could, like, probably, like, we could really help fuck the Orisa up, basically, but we weren't being very productive back there. So we've got our mech back right now. Anna's just gotten bumped off the edge. We haven't noticed the kill feed because we went looking for her, but Anna got bumped off the edge, so we didn't need to go keep looking for her. So there's McCree over there. We're getting lasered in the back by these turrets. We jet away from the turrets. Like, we could just break the turrets. There's no need to be that afraid of them. So right there, if you see Roadhog hook somebody, you gotta hold the defense matrix over that person, because it's more important that you don't let that person get killed. Anytime you see a Roadhog hook somebody, if you reasonably can, you should put the defense matrix over the Roadhog. So there's a Bastion over there. D.Va's not fantastic at fighting Bastion because we can attack and defend at the same time. Also, our man Mobin, really upset about team comp, decided that he should change into, off of Lucio, who at the time was the only healer, onto Widowmaker. So he's that kind of player, you know. So there's a Symmetra over there. We're not really feeling that we can kill the Symmetra, fair enough, so we just, like, leave the Symmetra behind. We ult here. This is fine, really. Like, it's not a fantastic ultimate. We just use it to get another mech back, so whatever. The thing is, though, this Symmetra is still over here. We, like, keep holding the defense matrix over lasers for a little while as well, which is not great. Right there, we don't really need to run away from the Symmetra. This Symmetra is half dead right now. Like, right now, it's just where you stand your ground and you try to fight the Symmetra. Because, yeah, Symmetra's laser does a lot of damage, but you're full HP, she's half HP, should be able to kill the Symmetra in that circumstance just by, like, drilling into her with your shotguns. Because the thing is, like, this Symmetra is killing a lot of people, actually, and nobody is taking responsibility for the Symmetra. That means we have to take responsibility for the Symmetra, basically. Because she's just, like, getting to run around on our side of the map, lasering people. And that's not okay. And she's, like, killing people. There's also a Bastion over here. Bastion is also an issue. But D.Va's not very good at fighting Bastion. Because we don't do enough damage to Bastion. And we gotta get right on top of Bastion. We can't attack while we defend. All we can really do is, like, hold defense matrix over Bastion for somebody else to try and kill him. But we can't really deal with that. Symmetra, we're also not great at dealing with, because she can go through defense matrix. But if nobody's taking responsibility for it, you gotta take responsibility for it. So we've got a lot of spirited banter happening over here from our man Mobin, who at this point... I can still hear the game on my end. He's just saying the Junkrat is better than D.Va, which is absolutely hilarious. That's absolutely textbook Mobin right there. Absolutely hilarious. Textbook Mobin. And then he picks Junkrat later. So, Mobin is now playing Reinhardt, so that's fine. He doesn't know how to play Reinhardt. Does not know how to play Reinhardt. So, we've got stuff happening over here. Somebody just got bumped into the well. It was Symmetra, so that's great news for us. And now we're going to come around here. We can go in on this Orisa, like, a lot harder, honestly, because Orisa is not scary to us. Orisa, like, is weak to D.Va because she's very soft. We get on her, we do a lot of damage to her, and she can't really do anything about it. Just like, I would just, like, shift up closer to this Orisa and start drilling into her, because she's, like, all by her lonesome over here. There's still a fight happening over here. McCree is behind us right now, which is also an issue. So, I mean, I guess I'd probably put myself into a bad position. But, like, we can still see the fight was happening over there, and Orisa by herself, that's, like, free. That's pretty free for a D.Va, honestly, because she's got a huge head. We've got dual automatic shotguns. You can kill an Orisa pretty fast if you catch her by herself. So McCree is just running us down right now. We got killed by McCree. Once we lost our mech, it was not exactly looking good. Here's what you do when you're playing against a McCree, though, right? And your baby D.Va. What you do is you turn around and you look that McCree dead in the eye, and if he doesn't have his flashbang, you just start jamming on the SD keys. Turn something on right there. You just keep jamming on ASD, like just jam on them randomly, crouch, uncrouch. It's actually really hard to hit baby D.Va because she's one of the smallest models in the game. McCree has to hit a very narrow hit scan weapon to actually shoot you. If you're 1v1 with a McCree and his flashbang is down, if you just like freak out on AD and the A and D keys and like crouch, uncrouch, jump around, it's a good chance you'll actually kill the McCree because he has to actually hit you twice to kill you. I mean, unless he headshots you or has the flashbang. But if he doesn't have the flashbang, there's a pretty good chance you'll actually kill him. Because baby D.Va is actually very small. And this is like a bronze McCree, so he's probably not fantastic at aiming. So, most of our team is dead right now. We shouldn't even be here, because there's not a lot that we can really do. But at the same time, though, they're like all here, but God fucking knows what they're doing at the same time. So we've got Symmetra right here. We just like face this Symmetra and try to kill her. We don't kill her quite fast enough to save the Mercy, which feels bad, man. Almost fell into the well right there. Oh God, that's happening. Block that real quick. Great. But then we just sort of try and walk through him. And he just breaks our mech. We're also getting shot at from behind, so it's not exactly going fantastically. So this is happening over here right now. There's not a lot we can really do about that as baby D.Va other than try and shoot into the shield. Or like try and go around, but there's also a McCree wandering around out here somewhere, so that's pretty scary also. So there goes Reinhardt, trying to charge into this area that he's not allowed to charge into. He doesn't die, which is nothing short of miraculous, honestly. Yeah, we can't really do a lot about that right now as baby D.Va, other than just, like, shooting. We should just be, like, shooting into the shield, basically, the whole time, until we find something better to do with our time. Because that's really all you can contribute in that kind of situation. So, now, we try and push the Roadhog into the well. He didn't quite go into the well. I had to actually look at the kill feed, because I wasn't certain if he did fall in or not, but no, he did not fall into the well. So, right now, we're not really doing very much, because we're on the opposite end of the arena to the fight. And we want to be over in the fight. So we should just, like, shift back over into this area. And we've got, like, two options. We can come, like, around this way and try to support our team. Or we can try and, like, kill the Orisa over here. Because we are also full HP right now. And Orisa is not great at fending off our attack. But we do also have to be aware that Roadhog and everything is nearby as well. However, Roadhog's hook is currently on cooldown, so we could try and make something out of it right there, or just, like, come over and try to support the team. Most of the team is now dead, however. We should have gone in on the McCree right there, though, because we could push that McCree off the edge for free, basically. Like, he pushes right up against this wall. That's free. Like, even if we don't push him off, we can still kill him, because we've got a lot of HP, and he's, like, used a bunch of cooldowns already. We could kill that McCree right there. So here's Symmetra. Symmetra's scary. We just, like, look the Symmetra in the eye. Oh, we didn't quite have the heart to keep trying to kill the Symmetra. We could have killed that Symmetra. She had, like, sub 100 HP when we started floating away from her. So we just come in and we dump the defense matrix right in the middle of the defense matrix, the self-destruct right in the middle of the point. That's not a very good use of self-destruct. Self-destruct is a very bad ultimate in general. It's very hard to actually get value out of it. Similarly to Deadeye, it's hard to actually kill people with it because, yeah, it one-shots people, but it's very slow and it's very telegraphed. So, Deadeye and Self-Destruct are usually just used for zoning. They want to come in, you hear, like, Lucio drop the beat, you start channeling Deadeye, you put Self-Destruct right in the middle of where they're trying to come through, and then they're like, oh fuck, guess we won't go in right now. Or you try to divide their attention, you've got, like, tack visor happening over here, and you say to yourself, alright, I'll throw my self-destruct on the other end of their team, because now they're like, fuck, do I look at him, or do I look at that? And then they have to decide what they're going to do very quickly, and you divide their attention between two very threatening ultimates. Or you try and use it for zoning. You don't ever really want to just throw it in, like, you don't want to throw it in by itself, that's what we call a naked D.Va ultimate, and it almost always doesn't kill anybody. Especially on a map like this where there's a lot of places to get out of the way, and they've got a Symmetra who can block line of sight to it, and they've got an Orisa who can block line of sight to it. So, we don't want to just throw it in there. We either want to use it to zone, to divide their attention, or we are comboing it with another ultimate like Graviton. Then it can kill people as well. But we don't really want to just throw it in like that. And we do that a couple of times. So we can hear Bastion going into tank form over here. He's doing some stuff he really doesn't need to be doing right now. So right now, our job is hold defense matrix over Bastion. We have done that as much as we can. And Bastion just stands there and accepts his fate. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, like fucking trying to pogo his way over here. Fucking whatever. So, right now, most of their team is actually dead. Roadhog just used his hook. Roadhog just fell in the well. Roadhog's dead now. We just go in on this Orisa. There's nothing over here to be threatening to us anymore. We just fly right up to this D.Va. Fly right up to this Orisa as D.Va. We hold defense matrix over the Orisa as we're going in. She can't do any damage to us. Then we're on her face, and then we just hold the cursor over her big, giant head hitbox, and we kill that Orisa. We instead just, like, sit all the way back here, like, watching the Orisa. We could just go in on this Orisa and kill her way faster. So we're getting lasered in the back right now, and we didn't really notice it. I hate that Symmetra's left click sounds exactly the same as her turrets, because I was listening to it, and I was like, I don't know if that's a turret or Symmetra. It's Symmetra. But before we go on to that, so, when you're playing D.Va, D.Va is kind of awkward in that she doesn't have, like, a super defined role. She wants to dive, but she's not great on that, because she's kind of squishy. So, and she's not great at supporting, like, she's not really a frontline tank at the same time. So, basically, the best thing you can usually do as D.Va is you sit around and you just try and support your team. Like, if you've got a Reinhardt, you try and block, like, important projectiles for going through his shield, like the other Reinhardt's Fire Strike, Helix Rocket, stuff like that. You try to block important projectiles going into his shield, and you support him. And you sort of try and support your team, like, block damage for them where you can, try and protect them from divers, that kind of thing. And then when you find an opportunity to dive on somebody who's out of position, or not even necessarily out of position, just kind of like by themselves, and you think you can dive on them and you can kill them, or at least like take up a lot of their time, you just do it. Like the Orisa over there, she was all by her lonesome. So at that point, you just dive on the Orisa, because you can fight the Orisa. You're good at killing Orisa as D.Va, and she was all by her lonesome. There was no one to help her. So you just sort of want to try and like sit back and support people, and then when you see an opportunity to dive in on people, that's when you go for it, basically. So right now, there's a Symmetra over here in this area. This is basically priority number 1, and now she's dead. So she's not priority 1 anymore, because Farah dealt with the situation for us. Excellent. So we've gotten control of the point right now. McCree is flanking around us. Also, Mobin was like, McCree is flanking us, but didn't actually provide any context as to where McCree was flanking from. So we were kind of looking around like, where the fuck is McCree? And I was like, where's McCree? McCree was over there. So Mobin's going after it right now. Mobin's not going to deal with that situation. Mobin's now over here, not playing Reinhardt, basically. So, here's what we also see. Defense Matrix is the best part about D.Va, because a lot of ultimates, you get to just stop them. As soon as you see the Roadhog start using Whole Hog, you gotta try and get over to this Roadhog and start blocking that ultimate, because that's your job. And he ends up killing the Winston. We just gotta get over there and start blocking the Whole Hog. You can block basically the entire Whole Hog with Defense Matrix. There's ultimates, like, if you can stop an ultimate with Defense Matrix, as soon as you see that ultimate happening, you gotta go stop that ultimate with Defense Matrix. Defense Matrix is the best part about D.Va, basically. So this is happening over here. Our man Mobin, he's putting himself into a really bad position. We tried to kill the Bastion, but the Bastion managed to set up. And that's bad, because then we can't kill him because he's got defense reduction. Oh, we're bad at killing Bastion. So as soon as we see him, like, buckle down, we just gotta get out quicker, because we actually lose most of our mech in that. But we could, like, back out sooner, knowing we're not gonna get him. So Symmetra is tasing us in the back right now. We don't seem to notice that we're getting tased in the back. And we've left Mercy to get tased in the back for us. We gotta turn around and try and help this Mercy, because Mercy is pretty important. So we're getting run down by Symmetra right now. We get killed by Symmetra. That's not exactly unsurprising when you're baby D.Va. Symmetra's left click at max charge does 120 damage per second? Somewhere around that region. So you die pretty fucking fast as soon as as baby D.Va, when her left click is charged up. We can hear the tank happening over here right now. We just throw our ultimate in again. This is again bad. It's not likely to do anything. All it does is kill a bunch of Symmetra turrets, and it's like, woo. Not a good use of D.Va's ultimate to do that kind of thing. So, we've got our man Mobin over here. Flanking Reinhardt, managed to pin the Bastion and get away with it. So there's a McCree over here. We're going in to try and get the McCree. Awkward position that we've ended up in right here. We're now leaving. Like, you gotta kill this McCree. McCree's behind you right now. You can't just, like, let McCree stay back there, and he was mostly dead. There's also, like, nothing we can really do over here right now. However, it is also an overtime. But, oh look, there's McCree again. And that's why you gotta deal with McCree. McCree's actually still low HP. So, like, we could've, like, tried to kill it. We could've just, like, gone a little bit harder to kill him while we were back over there, because it shouldn't have taken very long, and then come over here. So, Mercy has just gone over there and rezzed only Genji. Genji has immediately died again because there is still a Symmetra here. You know, it's not exactly going well. There's been some basically just imagine this entire time, basically, that Mobin and our man KYB have been talking basically constantly. None of it productive, all of it very, very annoying. And, man, it's funny how good they are for being in bronze. You know what I mean? It's, funny how everyone seems to be a noob, because they're typical bronze noobs. They said inside bronze themselves, apparently unable to get out. And, I always think it's funny, and there goes Mobin picking Junkrat, yeah, that's what we like to see. It's always funny to me, just how into the meta, like, the lower SR people are. Like, our man Mobin and KYB over here fucking love the metagame. They're fucking all about it, man. But I bet if I asked them why Soldier is the best DPS hero in the game right now, they wouldn't be able to tell me why Soldier is the best DPS hero in the game. And I bet they wouldn't be able to tell me why a 2-2-2 comp is strong, you know. So, doesn't even matter. So, whatever. I've played games in Masters where I got rocked by a team that was 5 DPS and 1 healer. At the end of the day, anything works. Like, it's just... And, like, no one really says anything about it. Like, Masters is like, Diamond Masters, Grandmasters, none of these areas are really better than lower SR. Every elo is elo hell. But, we just kind of, like, pick our heroes and get on with it. We don't have this whole, like, debacle before the game starts where we're like, We need two of everything. Two. Fucking McCree's bad. Pick soldier. No one cares. We just pick the heroes and get on with it. And then we e-bully each other about different things instead, right? Instead of e-bullying him for picking McCree instead of soldier, we e-bully him because he's bad. Right? That's what we do instead. Fucking hold on. Like, there's a window over here that's going fucking crazy right now. Great, awesome. Alright, so that's dealt with. Let's come back over here now. Now that I'm done complaining. So, our man Mobin over here charged in. That's not Mobin, that's Draxus now. Our man Mobin is now playing Junkrat. So, they've killed their Lucio immediately. They just lost their Symmetra. They're, like, not gonna get this point, basically, right now. So, we're playing Lucio now. Very important thing when you're playing Lucio, your default aura should be the speed aura. You need a reason to change to the healing aura. You shouldn't be in the healing aura by default. You should be in speed as much as possible, and then you don't need, most people are like, they think the healing aura is their default aura, and they need a reason to change to the speed aura. The reason Lucio is such a strong hero is because of his speed boost. So we want to be in the speed boost as much as possible, and then we change to healing sparingly, as little time as possible in the healing aura. Because, we should just, be in the speed aura right now, because we're not healing anybody right now, and then we could just, speed over here and just push him off the edge, right? You gotta play fast. We're playing Lucio, we're fast hero right now. And while we're running after this Bastion... Woo! The angle on that was really funny. It's like watching the Jackie Chan movie. That's the kung fu fight happening over there just ended, right? They just all got kicked out of the window. So, we could have killed this Bastion. We should have just, sped over to him. We should have been in speed aura already, just came over here and pushed him over the edge. If we're not, we should just, put into the speed aura right now and get in position to push him off the edge instead. There's no reason it should go, this long, really. And then we ended up just calling it off. There's no reason that Bastion should survive, honestly. He set it up for us. So, Bastion died anyway. Looks like he just threw himself off the edge, which is honestly the correct play. If you're gonna die, and if you're gonna get killed, and there's an edge there, throw yourself off the edge instead, because if you're gonna die, if you kill yourself, they don't get any ult charge from you, so that's actually the correct play in that position. So, there's a guy over there in the doorway that we didn't seem to notice, and we could have pushed him off. I think it was a Genji, based on the sound effect I heard. No, it's another Lucio. So, if we could have just, gone over there and tried to push the Lucio off, but it doesn't look like we noticed the Lucio in the doorway. There's Lucio right now. We missed that one. We're not healing anybody right now. We could be in the speed aura. We want to be in the speed aura as much as possible. If we're not healing, which we're not doing right now, we should be in speed. Because here's the thing, right? And this is true of all healers. Zenyatta not so much, because you just put the Harmony Orb on somebody, and then you my job's done here. All other healers, Lucio, Mercy, Ana, if you're healing somebody at full HP, that's the same as you doing absolutely nothing. If you're Mercy and you've got your healing aura attached to somebody at full HP, your healing beam attached to somebody, and they're full HP, your beam could be turned off. You're doing the exact same thing. Right now, we're not healing anybody. Everybody's at full HP. That's the same as us having no aura right now. So we should be in speed boost as much as possible. And then when people need healing, we switch back to the healing aura. So here's Symmetra. Symmetra's gone now. Great. Awesome news. So we just got flashbanged from behind us, and we're currently walking into the McCree that flashbanged us. Again, look around more. There's a lot of just kind of looking in one direction, and then slowly panning around. Just look around everywhere. Whip that camera around. Look around at the map. You gotta know where them people are. All of them. You gotta know where your team is, and you gotta know where the enemy team is. So, fight happening over here. Fight going really badly. Everybody low HP. Here's Symmetra. Here's a Symmetra over here. We could have tried to push that Symmetra off, because she came into the doorway, pretty close to the doorway. We could have probably pushed her off if we went in really close to her. So, we could have also tried to push her off the edge right there. This is really important. Like, we could have had 2 opportunities to kill Symmetra. Really strong to be able to kill somebody by just right-clicking once and then pushing them off the map, which is what Lucio just did, because we put ourselves right next to the edge while there's a Lucio near us. If you see somebody near a ledge, we want to try and push that person off. They're in, like, Symmetra was in this doorway, she was in the window over there. You can push them off from both of those areas. So don't do this either. Don't speed boost out of the, don't amp it up out of the gate on the speed boost, because amp it up is a 12-second cooldown. That's really fucking long. And doing this gets you there, like, a second quicker. But you trade a 12-second cooldown to do that, which is not exactly a great use of company resources. And you might need it. Like, what if in the next 12 seconds something happens and you think to yourself, fuck, I really wish I had amp it up right now. It's not worth getting there a second sooner for 12 seconds of being weaker, basically. So don't amp up the speed boost out of the gate. If it's an overtime, and you just need to get back to the point as quickly as possible, then it can be worth it. But even then, it's still usually more important to just have amp it up when you arrive, honestly. So everybody's dead over here. We don't want to go over there. That's a scary area right now. There's like a bunch of them alive and none of us alive. So here's Mercy. And now we're going to wait. We're waiting. We should, like, come over here and speed boost these people over. Like, as soon as we, like, realize our whole team is dead, and we're gonna have to wait regardless, you just go back to your spawn, and then ferry them back quicker, because then you just, like, save more time. Overwatch games are quick. You gotta try and get as much advantage as you can. If you go back, if everybody's dead and you go back to the gate and you get them back there, like, a couple seconds quicker because you've, went back with your speed boost, that's important. Right now, we're also, like, near nobody. We're, like, gone to the area where nobody on our team currently is. This guy over here also doesn't know how to play Reinhardt, by the way. This is not surprising to me, but, like, as I see these Reinhardt players doing a lot of shit that's not really, you know, how you play Reinhardt. So we're getting microwaved right now. We gotta, like, go in and try to save this Mercy, because Mercy's gonna die. And Lucio kind of has the obligation of trying to peel for people where possible. So, like, when we see that the Symmetra is here, microwaving the Mercy, we gotta, like, speed over there and try to push the Symmetra away from the Mercy, because we gotta try and save Mercy's life. Mercy is really important. And we just kind of, like, leave her to it, and she gets microwaved and killed. So we stepped on a trap, but Junkrat's managed to kill 3 people with the tire, which is a solid 3 people more than you usually expect a Junkrat to kill with the ultimate, so that's great. So, we have, currently not healing anybody, by the way, so we should be in the speed or. Actually, no, we're healing Reinhardt, I lied to you. But as soon as that Reinhardt's full HP, now we should no longer be in the speed aura, because now we're not healing anybody anymore. So we have sound barrier, which is cool. Fire in the hole is happening. We use it a little bit early, like we don't really know where it's coming from. But basically, as soon as we hear Junkrat start ulting, we ult in response. The thing is, Junkrat could be ulting from, like, way back here, right? And then by the time the tire arrives to us, it's already got, the sound barrier's already worn off, so we want to try and figure out where it's coming from first. We didn't, like, see Junkrat, did we? Hold on. Because now I'm afraid I'm talking about my own ass. Which, I mean, I do regularly, but, you know. Did we see Junkrat? No, we do not see Junkrat. So. Like, just, like, lost my mind for a second. I don't know what, just, like, complete vape, just, like, elevator music playing inside my mind for a second there. So, let's go back a little bit. So, we drop the beat, tire arrives early, tire breaks on the sound barrier, great, awesome. Lucio just died there. We're like, looking around, like, fuck, where's Symmetra? And we just get microwaved by Symmetra. You can't out-heal Symmetra as Lucio. So what's usually better, if you can't out-heal whatever's on you, or threatening you, you want to just try and, like, speed boost away from it, basically. So, like, just, like, speed boost away, figure out where the Symmetra is, and then, like, try and push the Symmetra away from people. Try and get them away from the Symmetra, basically. Or try and get the Symmetra killed, obviously. You can't out-heal it, so you want to, like, speed boost away from it if it's, like, right on top of you. So, that's happening. Now, the real hero play right here, right? You see this? You don't even hesitate, and you like run up and try and right-click him off. Now the thing is, we've already used our right-click. Why did we use that? Alright, we right-clicked the Ana right there. Don't do that, because you've actually just saved this Ana. Because she was right next to Reinhardt. Oh, she killed Reinhardt. Oh no, Reinhardt, man. Why is Reinhardt low HP right now? Didn't he just get rezzed? Oh no, he didn't get rezzed. I thought he got rezzed. Ah, god damn it. Fucking Reinhardt over here. Dragging out his death. If he just died like a second earlier, he could be full HP right there. God damn it, Reinhardt. If you know you're gonna die, don't like drag out your death, because then you end up being this Reinhardt who sees the res happening around him. He's got 2 HP and then he dies right afterwards. Don't beat that Reinhardt. That Reinhardt could have died and gotten 500 HP right there. So, don't like right click this on it though, like, cause there's like not much reason to. Like, this guy dies, right? Just gets punched to death by this old lady. This big German man in his power armor. Little old lady Ana just comes out and is like, fucking youth. Even though he's also old. And he gets just downed. And then they push her away afterwards. There's no reason to do that. Like, there's no reason to push her away. Really? There's no, like, it doesn't do anything pushing her away. You don't want to right-click somebody unless you have a good reason to do so. Because, like, most Lucio players, they, like, go up to somebody, left-click, punch, right-click, something like that. The right-click's only 25 damage. It might be 20 damage. 20 or 25 damage. And the thing is, it just, like, makes it more difficult for people to aim at the person. Because, like, suppose, like, Soldier's shooting at the person, right? And, like, lining up the rockets or something like that, and he's just shooting at them. And then you run up, you do that, and you push him away, and then, like, you push him out of the Helix rocket. Suddenly it's harder for the Soldier to aim, because he has to account for this thing suddenly that just happened. You don't want to right-click somebody unless you've got a good reason, which is you're trying to push them off a ledge, you're trying to peel, like, a Symmetra off of somebody. Or, like, if Genji's, like, deflecting in front of you with, like, 20 HP, you can right-click and kill him through it. But you don't want to just, like, right-click people for no reason. So, ideally, we haven't right-clicked that Ana. And we just, like, we actually could have done it anyway, like, just barely. But the true hero play is you see that happening, you don't hesitate, you just, like, go up and you, like, push him off the edge. Like, no, fuck the time of day, basically. And then we get stunned and fanned, and we die, and it feels bad, man. But that's pretty much how that goes. Damn, looks like Mercy got caught on the edge. Damn, feels bad, man. Yeah, that's a real productive use of their Lucio's drop the beat right there. Everybody just died to McCree, and then he's like, yeah, I'll ult now. For the no people left to fight. So Genji just used Dragon Blade and managed to kill a bunch of people. We've gotten back, and we managed to win the round. Great. Awesome. Even if they got control of it, they still had 50% to go. So, you know. Alright, so now we play a bit of Lucio, and then we change to Zenyatta partway through this round. This is the last round, by the way, as you might notice by the fact there's not that much time left on this game. So we've amped it up right there. We don't want to amp it up as we're going right now. It doesn't really get us anything, and now that's 12 seconds. Oh, no, that's a long time. Like, see, we get there and still got 6 seconds left. 6 seconds is a long time when you're about to, like, collide with the other team. So, we've switched into the healing aura. Nobody's hurt right now. There's no reason for us to be in our healing aura. So, our Winston man over here has just stepped on a trap. Our Reinhardt's gone over there, not playing Reinhardt, and has gotten himself killed. So that's cool. Lot of stuff happening over here. Symmetra's also here. Like, a lot of shit's happening right now. And we're not really equipped to deal with any of it. I don't know what you do in that situation. I think, like, the play right there is you get fucked, pretty much. It just comes at you from so many angles that, like, the only play really is basically, I guess, just run away. Because, like, so much shit just, like, wanted us dead right there. Like, we went up to try and, like, push people, but then, like, we got stunned, and Symmetra's there, they're up there. Oh, it's just really bad times. And our Reinhardt went off to, like, kill himself. Winston's over here getting killed. Now we've lost our other tank. You know. So, we've managed to just beat this McCree to death. And this Ragdoll was very satisfying to watch. Let's go back and watch that again. Just like fucking like smacked his head right into the wall. Good stuff. So our Reinhardt's going in right now. Mercy just got killed behind us by the Roadhog. I didn't like know the Roadhog was coming. Could we have known the Roadhog was coming? Did I miss it? We do hear him shoot like right behind us, but that's like kind of pretty subtle. I'll forgive you for that. I didn't know he was coming. So he just gets and she ends up getting killed by Roadhog, and realistically we probably weren't going to know that was happening to help her. So this is happening right here. Speed boost away from this lady. Like, you do not want this lady to touch you. If she touches you, that's very bad for business. And also, like, all of this is happening right here. The thing is that, like, we went in because we were following our Reinhardt, which is generally what you do. But we ended up getting split off by the Roadhog that we didn't know was coming. And then the rest of our team was not there. It was just us and Reinhardt. And then we were like, oh, fuck, here's the rest of their team. Oh, fuck. So, now we're playing Zenyatta. Fair enough. Generally, I would advise lower SRs. If you're gonna play a support, you want to play, Zenyatta or Ana, because they're the ones with the most agency, basically. Zenyatta gets to do damage. I was on a Smurf not that long ago that was, like, silver SR, and got, like, 5 gold medals as Zenyatta. Like, if you're, like, good at Zenyatta, Zenyatta's actually really good for lower SRs, because you get to do damage to people. Which is usually the issue. Like, the biggest thing that changes as you climb up in SR is the time it takes to kill somebody goes down and down and down and down. People get better at killing people. So if you are good at killing people, you can get a lot of mileage out of Zenyatta, basically. And Ana's good because Ana does a lot of things. Ana does a lot of healing. Ana's got a lot of utility. Ana's grenade is really strong. Ana's ultimate is really strong. Ana's really strong. And they've got the most agency, so usually I recommend playing them over the other healers if possible. Mercy is the worst one to play in lower SRs, because Mercy is the hero most dependent on the rest of her team actually doing something. She is very beholden to her team, like easily the most of all the supports. So right there, we found Junkrat. Junkrat's dead now. Feels good, man. So, now. Now. When you're playing a support player, you gotta try and be as efficient as possible, which we've been alluding to with the healing aura and the speed aura. Zenyatta, we want to have our orbs up as much as possible. Discord, that's dependent on actually seeing people, which you won't always be able to do. But your Harmony Orb should always be up. You should never have your Harmony Orb be down, because you can always have it on somebody, right? There's very few occasions you can't have your Harmony Orb up, so it should be up basically 100% of the time. And then you should have your Discord orb up on somebody. Even if it's not, like, the really priority target, it's more important that they're on somebody than on nobody. We gotta be as efficient as possible when we're playing support heroes. I mean, in general, you gotta be as efficient as possible, but when you're playing a support, you've gotta be as more efficient, the most efficient as possible. So, fuck, right? It's like, oh, fuck. Oh, just like, oh, fuck. I didn't actually know that if he whole hogged you, like, point blank as Zenyatta, you just died. But it really is on, like, the frame he starts shooting, we die. You can see it drop. Like, one frame, it goes down to half HP, then the next frame, we're dead. Fucking hell. That's brutal. He's got, like, a pretty wide model, actually, so it's not surprising. But I didn't know you would die that quickly to a whole hog. So, basically, this is like, we're not looking around enough. We spend, like, if we go back, like, we look over here, like, the whole time. We don't ever look behind us, even though that side is just as threatening, because there's also a ramp up over there. We just gotta, like, look around more. Looking around, very important. We gotta know where all the people are. Basically, just imagine, like, at all times during this game, I'm basically saying to you, look around more. Where are more things? Because just generally, we don't look around enough during this game. So our man Mobin now, playing Bastion earlier, and He was bemoaning the fact that we very briefly had a Bastion at one point. I don't know, we didn't really see the Bastion, but at one point we had a Bastion. He was bemoaning bemoaning that we had a Bastion. He is now playing Bastion. So, this is happening over here. Bad times, basically. So, High Noon's happening somewhere. We don't know where it is, but we can infer from the fact Genji's deflecting in that direction, he's over there. So, we get to just hide out of the way. And I always like when you see Genji killed X with High Noon. Or Genji... My favorite one is when Genji kills Soldier with Tac Visor, because that's really hard to pull off, but I've seen that one a couple of times. That's probably my favorite one. Yesterday I saw Genji kill Roadhog with Whole Hog. That one was really satisfying. So, this is happening over here. Our KYB was just very sarcastically like, good job, Genji. You know, just being as productive as ever. Great, fantastic team. I don't know what the fuck. Like, just fucking, like, from the moon comes the justice, and not very much gets accomplished from that one. She's dead now. Didn't get very much done with that one. It wasn't a very productive use of company resources. So, now, pull! And then Junkrat came flying at us, and we got to kill him. So, now, going back to what we were saying earlier, we don't want to be standing on this point, because this point is very scary. We're playing Zenyatta. Zenyatta, he has no fall-off damage, and he can put orbs on people from very far away. So we want to be standing up on the ridge as much as possible, because we don't want to stand on the point. Point's very scary. Ridge is high ground, so we are at a high ground disadvantage when we're on the point, from all angles, basically. And if we're up here, and they go on the point, we get to shoot down at them from high ground. We're a lot safer. Zenyatta generally wants to be as far away as possible, because he's got no way to protect himself other than killing the person. So, we want to be up there. We don't want to be down here, ever, basically. So, very scary things happening over here. We're getting shot at from behind by a Pharah right now. Pharah is now above us. We don't ever, look up at the Pharah either. Look up at the Pharah and put Discord Orb on her. Pharah is basically always priority number 1 for a Discord Orb, because she is very fucking annoying. So we used Transcendence right now, and I'm not really sure why we use it. I assume it's because we thought we were gonna die. Because it doesn't really get that much done with the Transcendence. Transcendence is usually best used to try and cancel out other people's ultimates. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing over here? It's like a fucking Junkrat in the corner, like, trying to, like, shiv Reinhardt in the kidneys. Transcendence usually best used to cancel out other people's ultimates, like Tac Visor. But all of their ultimates really, like, kill people in one shot. So it's not, like, except for, like, Barrage. But Barrage can also outdamage Transcendence. So, I guess it's not the end of the world that we use Transcendence, but we usually want to use it to, like, cancel out other people's ultimates. So again, we're standing on the point. We don't want to stand on the point. Oh, fuck, McCree, back up, get away from that shit. We don't want to go over to this side of the map, basically, ever, as Zenyatta. We can always be on our side of the pit, just, like, looking over at them shooting, and, like, putting orbs on people is relevant. So a lot of things happening right now. A lot happens on the right side, and we basically never look over there. Look around more, you know? Look around more. So, Pharah right here. It doesn't really seem like we noticed the Pharah. I don't think we noticed the Pharah, like, right there. Like, that Pharah is the most important thing right there. Kind of looks like we didn't actually see the Pharah, because we never actually quite, like, look at her. She's, like, the most important. So, like, that's where we kind of would have rather had, well, that's where we would have definitely rather had Transcendence, because that's, like, where the big team fight broke out, and that's where we want to have, like, what we want to do. We want to use it during the big team fight, or to cancel out other people's ultimates. So, we lost the game. Not unsurprising, the way it went. So, biggest things that stood out. Look around more. Awareness, not great. We sort of just, like, look in one direction a lot of times. Like, always be looking around. We want to know where everybody is. Playing as D.Va, we gotta use, Defense Matrix to, like, block things. It's like, we see the Pharah get hooked, we don't try to block the Roadhog. That's important. We don't try to block his whole hog. That's important. We're not keeping tabs on where McCree is to, like, block his, High Noon, which is really important. We got to use Defense Matrix to block a lot of things. We've also got to know when it's time to go as D.Va. Like, we sit back, we support people, we block damage, all that. Then as soon as we see somebody that we can kill, we go in, we kill that person. Like that Orisa on the well, by herself, we could have gone on. There was the McCree who put himself right next to the edge. We could have just, like, tried to push him off, and even if we fail, we could still kill him, because he was not full HP, but we were basically full HP. So we gotta know when to go as D.Va. We sit back, we support, then when we see somebody we can kill, we go. That's when we dive that person. Don't throw your ult in so early. You want to either use it to divide attention, zone people off, or you're comboing it with people. You don't want to just, like, throw it in, because that, more often than not, does nothing. Especially maps like this, they got a lot of cover. When we're playing supports, we gotta be more efficient with our resources. When we're playing Lucio, we're spending a lot of time in the healing aura that we don't need to be. The thing that's strong about Lucio is the speed aura. And if we're healing people at full HP, that's the same as us having no aura. So we should just be in speed boost as much as possible, change back to healing as needed. Don't be afraid of people so much when you're playing Lucio. Lucio can kill people, either by pushing them off or just by shooting them now, because they buffed his damage recently. And it's not uncommon to see a Lucio player just, like, win a gunfight with a soldier or a McCree. Like, Lucio can kill people, so we don't need to be as afraid of people as we generally seem to be. And Zenyatta, same basic thing. Want to have our orbs up more than we did. And we gotta be further back. We're putting ourselves in very dangerous positions as Zenyatta. Zenyatta, very far away, still very effective. We don't need to be close to people, we want to be as far away as possible. So those are the biggest things that stood out in this game. There's quite a few things. The biggest ones, though, look around more. Defense Matrix, important things, know when to go. Those are, like, the biggest things. All the other things are also important, like when you're playing a support hero, gotta be efficient with, like, healing auras and things like that, speed auras. Those are, like, the big things, and then there's the other things. So, anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. More than happy to answer, and I hope you found the video helpful.